Hello everybody, my name is Queso and welcome to my YouTube channel. Recently, I have been looking at the social media accounts on any beginner Facebook pages for 3D printing, and there's been a lot of questions, and I realize, we just had the holiday season, there's going to be beginners, so why not ask them what their questions are, and I'll try to answer those questions. So I'm going to start making a series of those questions and what I do, and maybe I can give you some examples on what you can do. So enjoy the video. Alright, so what I'm seeing a lot of right now is there's a lot of people who are making cosplay items or props, anything that they're making with curves. They're saying, how can I get rid of this ringing? If you don't know what ringing is, I'll go into it in a second. Or how can I get rid of these layer lines without so much post-processing? Because that's one thing about FDM printing compared to resin printing is, most printers aren't going to print as smooth as a resin printer. It's just not going to happen. Okay, you're going layer upon layer, laying plastic and cooling it down, and resin printing goes layer by layer, but it's a little bit different process, and then you get better details through it. But that's for another day. Okay, so the first thing that I would like to talk about is adaptive layer height. And most slicers have this thing called adaptive layer height. So I'm using Bambu Labs slicer. If you're using Cura or Orca slicer, they'll have adaptive layer height options. If you're not using Bambu Labs, Prusa, or Orca, I'm going to strongly suggest you switch to that right now and just learn it. I start off on Cura. Cura is fine for beginners to learn on, but if I were you, I would jump to one of those because they have such better features, they're more updated, and they're just better overall user interface, and they take a lot less time than Cura, and just overall nicer experience. So back to adaptive layer height. So right here I have my Spider-Man 2099 helmet. This is Miguel O'Hara from Into the Spider-Verse. I've turned it diagonally so it could fit on the plate, and I've tilted it back so the supports don't have to go clear up, because if I were not to do this, it came like facing forward and straight up. Okay, it fits like that, but I would be wasting a lot of time and filament building support to go up here. Okay, does that make sense? So I like to tilt them back so that the supports only have to go up to here. Okay, so that's how I printed it. It does save time, it does save filament, so that's just a little thing you can keep in your head for the next time you print something. Alright, adaptive layer height. With Bambu Labs slicer, you have this button right here. If you click it, it's going to go to the adaptive layer height. On this side you have quality, on this side you have speed. The more you're to the right, the faster it's going to be. The more you're to the left, the slower it's going to be, but the higher quality product you're going to get. So let's quickly just show you, if I were to do that, what you would get. Okay, so let's slice plate. I'll get back to you when it's done. See you in a bit. Alright, so we're back. So we've opted for speed in this build. It's still going to take a day and 46 minutes total time, a day and 52 minutes of printing with everything. And if you look here, okay, we're going to zoom in at the top. You will see those rings as a printer prints, an FDM printer. Okay, it's going to, let me get this real quick, it's going to slowly build up. Okay, like that. And if you opt for speed, you're going to notice those rings a lot more than if you were to do it the other way. So again, this is the quickest way. It only takes a day and 52 minutes, and it costs about $10. So let's go back. Okay, and let's opt for a small radius and high quality and smooth. Okay, let it do that. That's what we're going to end up with right there. We're going to click slice, and then when it's done, I will come and get you. Alright, so it's still slicing, but essentially I just wanted to fill you in. With the adaptive layer height, where there is not a complex part and it's just kind of like a straightaway wall, it's going to go with bigger layers in those areas. And where there's a complex part or there's more detail, it's going to slow down and print smaller layers there. Okay, that's what adaptive layer height is. It's adapting to your print in order to make it better where it needs to be better and get away with being just okay where it can be just okay. Okay, so I'm gonna let this finish slicing and then we'll get back. Alright, so we're done with our higher quality print. Let's zoom in to where we had it, and you can see that there is a noticeable difference in the top layer ringing. It has shrunk tremendously. Okay, and when you get this, you're not going to be able to perceive it too much. Okay, so if you make it, you'll obviously see it, but if you're wearing this to a convention or something, people aren't going to notice this. Okay, and it's going to be a lot less post-processing. So this is what I did with my Spider-Man helmet. You can see it only increased, I think, about 6 cents. Okay, but it added on an additional 10 hours. Okay, and that's again because it's printing smaller layer heights in certain places. If I had to guess, the smaller layer heights were along the angles. Okay, probably like here, there's probably some. And then definitely up here towards that. Okay, so I printed this already. I'm going to jump to my camera and I'm going to show you the outcome or the results of using adaptive layer heights. And hopefully you will use them too in the future because the results are tremendous. Alright, so here's my Spider-Man 2099 helmet. It's all completed. These aren't glued on, so we'll take those off. This is another part. Okay, these eyes are also not glued on. It's pretty cool. With these eyes, they're mesh lenses, so you can actually see through them. I personally think with the new way things are going, mesh lenses, they're looking way better and you can see through them really well, and I like how you can print them in whatever colors you need. And you might not be able to see too well out of them. I think by looking at my computer right now, you can see perfectly out of them. I wouldn't want to wear them in like a dark place, but like a well-lit area like a convention, you definitely could get away with wearing these in your cosplay items. So I would like to see, you know, like a stormtrooper, instead of like cutting the Hobart face shields or whatever, you could just print off some mesh shield or mesh eyes and put them in, and that could be your, you know, your piece. Okay, works out really well. So jumping in, here's my Spider-Man helmet. Okay, it's very form-fitting. Just on a side note, I think I would probably print this out of TPU to make it more of a mask, to have it be more flexible to go on and off. But that's for another time. So let's quickly just look at that. Okay, I'll let that focus. Maybe we'll pull it out a little bit. Okay, you can't really tell at all where the ringing is. Okay, it turned out great. Adaptive layer height does add on some time, but if you don't want to do any post-processing or anything like that, use adaptive layer height. It is great. Okay. Alright guys, so I had to jump to my other mic because I had some sound issues with my other one. But my overall thoughts is you should use adaptive layer height. It cuts post-processing time down to pretty much nothing. I did nothing to this helmet and it looks great. I just left it as is and I'm going to put it on display on a shelf. Okay. Even when you get up close to it, you can't really tell that I didn't do anything to it. Okay, so give adaptive layer height a chance. Try it out. Like I said before, don't go all the way one direction and all the way another direction. See what works. There's got to be a happy medium. All right, so thanks for watching my video. I'm Queso Builds. Come back next time.